The launch is right now.
Hello, this is VP on the radio time TNL, the radio you're listening to.
What's going on, guys? TBA here.
Yeah. It's DJ Scrub. DJ Scrub.
VP on the radio you're listening to, Time TNL, powered by Do Work Media.
Take care of yourself. Take care of each other.
Always stand up.
Support is love. Is love. Time TNL. Hello, this is VP, and you are currently listening to Time TNL, powered by Do Work Media. I'm your host, VP, and you can follow me at _call me VP on both Twitter and IG. Now, I'm rocking it out solo dolo today, so the homies are not here. So shout out to DJ Scrib and TBA because they're out there making it do what it do. All right, I'm here in the studio with I always say it, Brody.
Whoa, Brody.
See, I like to go between Wody and Brody, depending on how I feel.
Right,
you know, if I
right.
had a couple of drinks, it might be Wody because at that time, I ain't really speaking all that.
Yeah, you going with the what's.
I'm going with the what? Yeah, that's right. It's all the W's out here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here with Brody himself,
Yeah.
Mr. Walter Brown.
What's up, y'all, man? Free Thinkers Union. Shout out to Do Work, the family.
Yes.
We in the building.
Yes, it's all love. It's like a family
Always.
reunion.
Yeah, always. That's what it is.
It's all love. We got the Concrete Rose EP dropped, and
Yes,
we
man.
have been very excited about that. Been excited about just the thing. So let's get straight into it. Let me now the formalities have been handled. The concert. Battling with Mike battle. The concert. How did you feel with the success of the concert? How did you feel? Do you feel it was a success? Right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it was definitely a success. I feel like I learned a lot just with, just the process beforehand. Because like with me, I'm always trying to grow, and I feel like like I told you a long time ago when I told you who I felt my competition was, like, so when I perform, I feel like, man, there's so much I can learn. I look back on it, I reflect on it, just things that I could have done better,
right.
Those things as well, and just just cherishing that moment, man. I felt like it was a great introduction for me. I felt like, the people that came out, it was a lot of support, and, even just those other artists that got the opportunity to perform as well. I felt like it was, just a great experience for them as well. So
right.
I was definitely happy, and just pleased with how everything turned out, and just, looking forward to, the next time it being even, on a bigger stage and more people and just, even better. So,
right.
just everything continued to grow, So, yeah, I definitely was very proud.
Well, then let's talk about it from kind of start to finish. I'm going to talk about just walking in the door first and foremost.
Okay.
I was very pleased to be in that theater atmosphere.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that.
Right, yeah.
I enjoyed the being able to get like a glass of wine and waiting for the show to start. It had a different feel to it.
Right, like that ambiance kind of.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, but I feel like I was talking to a friend. It was intimate, and you felt that as soon as you walked in. Like,
right.
The purpose of the EP, the purpose of everything has been to introduce me, people to get to know me. So when you came in there, you felt like, it was I don't know, you didn't get the vibe that this was like some type of, come in and you just kind of like letting loose. It
Right,
was more
right.
like something special is going on, and you're getting to meet somebody, or you're getting to, experience something.
Yes.
So I feel like, that whole theater thing, I feel like that's what it is when you come to theater, like the lights are really dim, and
Right.
it kind of sets your mood.
Right,
so.
exactly. I agree, and that's how I felt. I felt that I was getting ready. I was prepping myself to, just like what I do in general when I go to see a play.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that moment before the play is starting that you can mix and mingle with the people that are right outside. And I like that because it was, you can mix and mingle before you got to the actual stage
Right,
of
yeah,
where we were going to
yeah.
watch this thing. And I felt that was that intentional, or is that something that you felt when you got there? So I didn't expect this to happen.
Was it intentional? Not maybe not so much, but because it was intentional to like I said, have it at a theater because of the EP and just what we were trying to get across.
Right.
And I feel like that just kind of comes with it, like how
Yeah.
you're talking about when you go to a play, like it's a part of that whole atmosphere. Like that's
Right.
how it's designed for it
Right.
to happen. It's just, it's made for that. So,
Right.
it was intentional and just having it at a theater and all those things that come with that. The dramatic light changes.
That's right, that's
stuff
right.
that you can't do at a bar or a club.
That's right.
So all that was just taken into consideration of, okay, what are we trying to do? Because, my story, everyone's story, it's theatrical. These
That's
are
right, yeah.
moments that we've lived out, and so it's like you're acting it out. So
Right.
yeah.
I enjoyed, like I said, that mix and mingle beforehand because it prepped me, because everyone that was there, I was talking to them about music.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to them about music. We were all there for a common cause, so we all
Right,
have
yeah.
something to talk about.
Right, exactly.
The small talk, you can easily talk about, okay, we're here for this EP release, but then we can talk about so many
Yeah,
different things
yeah.
about we're in a theater and what's the state of the music scene in
Right.
Charleston, and how does this help better it, or all kinds of things.
Yeah, right.
There were a lot of
That
talking
come from it,
points.
yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. Then when we got ready, and then I enjoyed seeing people that I knew were in your circle,
Right.
family
Yeah.
that was making this event happen.
Yeah, that's
Loved it.
They were working for me. We was
That's
all
right.
working, not
That's
for
right.
me, but we was all working for that cause. And,
That's right.
man, that's my my clique. If you would call it that,
Right.
or my team.
Yeah.
It's a lot of family. I mean, some friends, but even my friends are, I call them family.
Yeah.
So it's like we
It's
all
your
that
community
close-knit.
right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I think that those are details to me,
Mhm.
and those are details that really put something special into the mix.
Yeah.
When you can, and it felt personal as well, because here I am. Some of these people I knew because of the fact of being around you guys, and
Right.
also doing like the interviews and stuff, and running into you guys.
Mhm.
Outside of that kind of atmosphere, it was rewarding to be able to see these people and say, wow, this is family. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's here to support
Yeah.
what you've got going on. I think that's amazing. And I like that. I know in our events, we strive to do the same thing. Everyone that's working in the event, those are people we know.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
It's not just strangers.
No.
So
and,
that's
and
impactful.
and more importantly, as it grows, those are people that, for one, I can trust, and
That's
for
right.
two, who I know won't let me get too far out of my, out of my true origin. Because,
That's right.
and not to say that I need that, but we all have our moments where you check yourself, like,
That's right.
so
That's
I
right.
keep them there because I know I can trust them, like I said, and two, and I know they're going to always give it to me, real, and,
Right.
know. So, yeah, man, that's just, I guess that comes from getting older and just realizing, the things
Yeah.
that you need.
That's right, and not just doing what you want, but recognizing what you need, and
Yeah.
then understanding that even the things that you felt like you wanted before, you realize you didn't truly want it.
Right, exactly.
Like I think sometimes we realize that we actually want what we need.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
I mean that's something that I think is very, very much overlooked when we talk about needs and wants. Now continuing through the night of the concert, so everybody's getting ready. We're sitting down. And we're seeing the acts that came
Mhm.
before, and Melodic Tones was amazing.
Yeah. She's very
Her voice is
talented.
beautiful, very talented. She's engaging with the
Yeah.
audience, and I feel that is very important, especially for a singer.
Yeah.
It's much more than just your voice. Like, are you an entertainer?
Yeah, exactly.
Can
That's
you
it.
entertain?
Now,
That's-
you know what I always think of that. It really came from the Gladiator, but Jay-Z had it on December 4th on the Black Album, and he said,
Right.
"Are you entertained? Is that not
That's
why
right.
you're here?" Yeah,
That's
so
right.
I just look at Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer ever lived. I mean, the greatest
Yeah.
entertainer, because
Right.
he entertained you. Beyonce shows, it's entertainment.
Entertaining.
Like, yeah, so
That's right. She did a beautiful job. Then you had Josh Immortal.
yeah, Immortal. Shout out to my boy.
I saw him perform at a
It was
Charleston Hype, Charleston Hype show, and he's got a real what's the, like, I don't want to use the word genuine, like, even though it's still a good word I'm trying to use, but it's
Yeah.
just he just seems real kind. I don't
Yeah.
know, like, that seems like a basic word, but he
Yeah.
just seems like a real kind dude, like
Yeah,
a
man,
guy who's
just
just
laid back and
down to earth.
And with him, I was talking to him, and I think he told me it's like his 4th show maybe ever, and
Wow.
with him, man, like you said, I just got that vibe, and when I saw him at Charleston Hype, that was my first time seeing him. I like the sound, and I like the fact that he was confident enough to get up there, go first. Ain't nobody really paying no attention, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
he performed as if everybody was paying him attention. And
Right.
so, when I saw that, man, I just felt like that would be a great, a great opportunity for him. And,
Right.
for people to hear his sound, because, man, he's a dope artist, man. And he got a good little following, and he has his own distinct kind of sound that when you hear him, you know that, oh, that's Immortal. Like, that's how
Right.
the sound. So,
Right, you recognize the sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what led you to choose these particular acts? Like, what made you choose these
Man,
two?
the sound, of course, because you want someone that's talented and has a nice sound, but it was more so with Immortal, just the fact that I liked his sound, the fact that I wanted to give him this opportunity because he's cool and he's somebody who I feel like other people would like him if the more they heard him.
Right.
And him being from Myrtle Beach, it's okay, we're not from the same area.
Right.
So let me give you this opportunity. Come down to Charleston where people might not hear your stuff, never heard of you. Perform in front of this different crowd.
Right.
So now that's exposure for you.
Right.
Melodic Tones, kind of the same thing.
She's
like,
from Columbia.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like trying to, even though it's
Wow.
a smaller scale, trying to connect those dots now, because now, okay, I built this relationship with these two people
Right.
from two different places. Eventually that will turn into
That's right, it will.
collaborations. Hey, you come out here when they have a show,
Right.
so just trying to be forward thinking and trying to like how you always say, I'm just plotting for
That's right.
looking ahead.
That's right. So you had
For what
Myrtle
helped me.
Beach, Charleston, and Columbia,
Columbia, yeah.
right? Wow, like those are some good, like,
Yeah.
like good representations of the state,
Exactly. So
Wow, that's
just trying to.
I didn't realize that before.
Yeah, trying to just that unity, man. And,
Right.
And then it's also different sounds.
Right.
When you hear Immortal, he doesn't sound. His style of music isn't like mine.
Right.
When you hear Melodic, her style of music isn't like mine or his. So it's like
Right.
each act you're getting something different. You
Right,
know, and that
right.
was also that played a big part because I didn't just want it to be like all hip hop or all R&B or.
Yeah.
I wanted it to just, I wanted you to just be entertained, and every time you get something different, you like, man, it's a nice show.
Yeah,
So,
when I thought about it, or in thinking about it again, I thought about the elements that are in your EP. You have obviously hip hop and you have R&B,
Mhm.
and it was kind of like a nod to both of those
right.
those kind of genres, and saying, now I'm about to put both of them together.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
how we build it up. Like I said, I enjoyed the performance, the stage presence, and especially when you're dealing with people who are all of us on this, I guess I'll say, local scene, and I may tweak how I say this, but we're all on those kind of I don't want to say beginning stages, but
No,
it's just we're obviously, all of us are not where we would want to
Right,
be. We
exactly,
all
yeah,
know we
yeah.
can be a lot better,
Yeah.
in everything, in radio and interviewing
Right.
and rapping and singing or whatever it may be, in your artistry. And I think it's very important that we practice, though, that we
Yeah.
continuously practice, even if it's an event, no matter what show we do, no matter what event. I know that like with Do Work Media, no matter what event we do, it's still always practice.
Yeah, always.
It's still always practice, and you have to execute the way that you aspire to, or at least challenge yourself. And I could see that with the two artists that you had, that both of them had some kind of element that may have been slightly different for them, and they had to push through that. Not that they struggled with it, but just like, you should be challenged.
A moment of growth.
A moment of growth, exactly. Now, when we transitioned from those opening acts to your portion, I had no idea. I knew that we were in a theater, obviously.
Right.
And Pure Theater is very is a unique theater as well, because the stage is so open.
Right,
it's not necessarily a built up stage. It's very amphitheater type feel. And I didn't realize that you would tie the theatrics into it. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And it made me look at the EP in a very different lens. So where did you get the idea to throw those theatrics in?
Because it's a story, you know, and I wanted, like, writing the EP was so much of like going back and reliving moments, like, you know, because it's like a chronological order of from like 16 to now, so 16 to 25.
Right.
And it's like I was reliving those things while writing it. So I might have wrote a song 3 times because I'm trying to gather 2 or 3 years in one song. So it's like, I got this piece, but, you know, so with the whole, like, you know, with the show and the concert, it was like, okay, lyrically, I have presented you with where I was, you know, at this moment, but because I want to entertain you, it's not just about, you can put a CD and hear what I'm saying.
Right.
But when you're at a show, I feel like you should get more than just that.
Because getting something different.
Exactly, because you're at a show. So it was like, okay, well, how do you now present the lyrics, but also show them? And so, you know, it was just that, you know, it was trying to convey those emotions that I was feeling at that time. And trying to give you like a visual of even with, you know, with like the, you know, clothes that I had on.
Right.
Trying to kind of show those different stages with everything. And, you know, and then once again, it was at a theater. So it's like all those things just connected and it just made sense, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just made sense.
Yeah, I enjoyed the outfit changes.
Yeah.
The costume change. I remember saying to Mecca, if Walter Brown makes an outfit change.
Right.
And I started to see, I was getting excited because I really enjoyed seeing you bring kind of the artistry out and say, look, let me help you with these kind of visuals. And I liked that concept. I thought that it would introduce the EP very well, and just the idea of being able to kick it up a notch in terms of, I'm not just going to get up here and just, you know, just rap. I'm going to put a little bit of myself in here. And when I listen to the EP as a unit, I can see how everything builds up even to the very last song when we're talking about making a toast and celebrating, you know, and I see the beginning, middle, and end, and I appreciate that in the EP, and I saw it even more there. I mean, I was ready to go toast and do whatever, baby.
That's
afterwards.
How I wanted, you know, that's how I wanted everyone to feel, man. And, you know, it's like I said, you know, it's a time and place for the Wickeds, you know, and for that type of just catchy type of music. But with this EP, that wasn't the purpose, and it was to, like I said, man, it just introduced me, my introduction. And so with Toast to Us, you know, it was like, you've heard everything I went through. You basically went through it with me. Now you see where I'm at. And, of course, you can relate in some way to, you know, what you've been through.
Absolutely.
So let's all celebrate. And, you know, just Mom on the track, because she has something to celebrate as well with me. So, you know, it was just, it just made, everything was just about, like, what makes sense, what goes together. And, you know, it kind of, you know, that's how it went.
How did Mama feel about it?
She was, you know, she loved it, man. She was proud of me, and I was happy that she was proud. And, you know,
it's awesome.
I was telling somebody yesterday, the day before yesterday, but it's gonna be a thing now. Like she's on every project.
That's great.
Yeah, she's on every
I
project.
think that
so.
that is phenomenal. And I remember you talking earlier, a couple of months ago, just talking about how important your mom and your sister were, and just how you considered this to be like your graduation or like your graduation party, in a sense. And that's the kind of mindset I was ready for when I came in, and I was excited. It's just like when you graduate from high school,
right.
and you got this graduation party, and you're like, yeah, I done made it, and I'm about to go wait to see what else I've got in store.
Exactly.
Like I'm going to grow from here. I'm going to make some things happen. I'm going to find out new talents I have. I'm going to hone the skills I already possess, and you're going to be amazed. You know, and I like that kind of concept. I really do. I enjoy it. Your mom, she sounded beautiful.
Yeah, she did.
She sounded so beautiful. And she looked like she was having a good time.
Yeah, she was, man. We, you know, it was a celebration. So
yeah. And I also the crowd that you had, you clearly supporters of
definitely.
you. How did they feel? What kind of reactions were you getting?
You know, I got a lot of you know, did great texts, and even, you know, I didn't know everyone there.
Yeah.
But even some of those people, you know, afterwards came up and you know, just say that they enjoyed it, and even more so, I hope that the people that supported me and that already knew me and knew my music or whatever, I just wanted them to feel closer to me, and then the people that didn't necessarily know me, you know, I wanted them to like I guess get a kind of a little view inside of my life, and hopefully, you know, and I feel like we did a good job of just making that connection, and them feeling like, man, like, you know, this is a real person, you know, who's been through real things, maybe similar to me or somebody I know, and
absolutely.
you know, just feel that energy and that love and everything that comes with me and the people around, you know, and so that would just draw them and you know, make them a fan too.
Yeah, I can see I could see just how proud everyone was, especially the people who already knew you. And it's important to execute for those who have already been supporting you. You know, definitely. Like it's important for you to acknowledge them, and not only acknowledge them, but really just do what you say you're going to do. And you told them, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the EP, I'm going to have this event, and you provided. You know, and I think that delivery is very important. And
you know,
your consistency with that.
Their help, you know, like you know, Pure Theater, of course, man. They just been, you know, amazing.
Because you had to reschedule.
Because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like going through it with that, you know, like just feeling like, man, you know, you might lose 20 or so people because, you know, but whatever, you know, whatever, you know, it was meant to be. So, but, you know, just people that were there that were a part of it, whether it be, you know, people like in my old life, like, you know, just friends and people that knew me in those dark times, you know, that was like, just, you know, like, just amazing, you know, like people that I talked about in the first song when I say plotting homicides, me and Shelly B, and like she's right there, and it's like that line hits because she knows like those moments. She knows exactly what you're talking about. She can go back to that and be like, I remember that, and so you know, like you said, it was like a high school graduation, man. Like, you know, seeing all the people that you struggle with and people that you met along the way, like you and Mecca, and you know, it was just one of those moments, man, that you know, I'll never forget. No matter how big, you know, 40,000, you know, that's one of those things that you'll always like, you know,
it should be it should be your motivator. I mean, and I always find that Mother Nature has a way of showing you who's there to truly support you, because I remember we had a and I don't mean that as a diss. Sometimes people take that as a diss, like, well, just because I wasn't there the first time doesn't mean a support. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is that, you know, a lot of times people, they talk a real big game, you know what I'm saying? And but then also there are just sometimes I think that we're just shown in our lives, like, don't forget that no matter how big we think that the circle is, we're always reminded in some way that the circle is small, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. I
Oh.
remember we had an event and it rained. We had been promoting for this thing, and it rained, and a lot of people weren't able to come out.
I remember that. I was at the Americana, right?
Exactly, right. And but the cool thing about it was that we saw that there were still people, and I think this is what it is, because it's not meant to be a diss. It's just meant to say that you still see that regardless, there are still people that are going to come and still see you.
Right,
you know,
regardless.
and they're going to still come and support you.
Yeah.
And I think that is something worth stating, especially for our confidence, because you mentioned this earlier about how Immortal had this confidence, and you were happy to see that. And that's something that sometimes you take for a lot of people, and not necessarily with him, but just in life. What I have been learning for myself is grit versus talent, and how people interchange with them, or how some may have more than the other, and how a really good balance of the two, like, just can really make somebody shine. But we really like genuine people.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel that, like, you know what I'm saying, when you meet somebody that's genuine, and like,
right,
you just feel it, man, and it's just one of those feelings where you like, man, I really like, you know, like just with you and Mecca and Peely and people that I've met, like when you're around them, it's like you just feel that positive energy.
Feel
you know
good.
what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Yeah, like you know, it's. I mean, you can feel it. So
and
you know,
isn't that interesting? How like there are people who I know that even in working in this local industry, that I can talk to, and I can have some good conversations with them, but there's always some kind of moment of like negativity that I guess you feel it on the inside, that you're like, I'm not always positive when I'm around you.
Right, exactly. Like, it's not always good. Like, it's those moments that you gotta like pick and choose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas there are some people who I can sit down and talk to for hours and still always be up.
Right.
You know, always stay up. You know, and it's not because they're agreeing with everything I say.
Right, no.
It's just they're just so genuine.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And that can be difficult, especially in something like, you know, Charleston's music scene is going through some different things right now, and making some adjustments, and going through some periods of growth. And as we continue doing that, there are, you know, there are things we begin to learn about peers and things of that nature that we're like, what, really? But but they're still humans, just like we are, you know. But it just kind of stays true to, you know, always be yourself,
right,
and don't just fall into some kind of mold just for the sake of everybody being around you. Always still be you.
Always.
I think that's important, and I enjoyed that about the EP. So then circling back, after seeing the performance, afterwards there was still a mix and mingle, and this is what I appreciated, because it reminded me so much of just theater once again, and it was appropriate because we were in a theater. And I keep harping on this because here in Charleston, once again, I'm referring back to the music scene, we have so many concerts, so many showcases. Like, that's the first thing that artists do, and that's fine, but let's not oversaturate with the same concept.
Right.
I would much rather see a different concept,
right.
you know, and see what makes you different from the other person putting on a showcase and the other person putting on a concert.
Right.
What's different? And after the show, I was once again able to mix and mingle and talk and network and give people pats on the back, but then also talk about future endeavors and projects coming up and things like that. And that's, in my opinion, what a show should do.
Yeah.
That a show should encourage you or inspire you to want to do some new things.
Yeah.
And I gained that after this Concrete Rose release concert. I thought that it's great. It's awesome. So kudos again to you.
Appreciate that, man, and thank everybody that helped, man. You know, I always I definitely didn't do it by myself. Shout out to my boy E.
Right.
He
was just running around there, man. We saw him before.
I get on. I'm on him, man. Like, I'm talking. He was out there, and I'm peeking behind the curtain. Hey, E. But you know, he always good spirit about it. You know,
that's right.
He's not one of those people just that positivity
That's
around
right.
me. You know,
Yeah.
shout out to Trip for hosting it and just
For coming out in that wig. Thank you, Trip.
Yeah, man. We were backstage and he was talking to me. I was like, "Don't forget the wig." He's
Look
like,
at him.
all
Look
right.
at y'all.
Yeah,
Trip.
I was like, "Don't forget the wig." He's like, all right, I'm going to get it. Yeah, man. So yeah, it was great and
Yeah.
like I said, man, it just made sense and you know, like you were talking about, just so many showcases and so many concerts. You know, you just need a balance. So it just can't be all that oversaturated because then you get tired of it.
Get tired of
And
it.
then when you hear about one, it's like, you know,
Do I
if I
wanna
miss
go?
this one, right? If I miss this one, it'll be 2 more next week.
That's
you know,
right.
so
That's right.
you just need that balance, and you need different things, different type of events, because there's so many ways to present music to people. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so many
exactly
ways.
what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Ah, there's so many different ways to present music.
Yeah.
And we cheat ourselves by just doing the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again. I mean, I do something different. Now post release concert and post EP release in general. Here you are with your EP out.
Yeah.
What kind of response have you gotten thus far?
It's been a good response. It's been how can I say? I'm beginning to just gain new followers. You know, from the Charleston City article, from you know them hearing about the show,
Right.
from the Wicked video, and then you know. It's still kind of in the beginning because we haven't even released a mini documentary, and so when we release that, that's a visual to go along with the EP, and so
Right.
you know that's only going to build the steam behind it. And then we have the video for Concrete Rose,
Right.
which is the next single. So you know we're still pushing on that and just continuing to just I guess push that. How can I say that introduction of myself? So
Right. Right.
I mean the response has been good though, man. I've had a lot of people tell me that, and more than I thought it would be, because like I said, I just made this as an introduction, something, you know, one of those projects that you make that you hold dear. So,
Right.
you
Right.
know, even when I make a mixtape, it's a different thing because a lot more time and a lot more thought was put into my EP.
Right. Right.
So, you know, I was kind of just surprised with people's reaction who aren't family, you know,
Right,
or
right.
who I didn't grow up with, who
Right.
have heard the EP and they're
Right.
like, man, you know, I really like it. You know, I like every song, and you know, little kids are kind of, you know, singing the choruses. So you know,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, you know, it's
That's good, Phil. You can smile about it.
yeah,
Like,
you know,
think about-
it's like I said, I didn't expect that. You know, I
Right.
just was making something, man, that told my story.
right.
you
Telling
know,
us
so,
telling a story.
yeah, you know, and that's that in itself is a whole different thing.
Right.
You know, because you kind of have to you have to not be so focused about what people will remember from it. You know,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you go into like trying to make these hits or trying to make things that are catchy, the substance is gonna lack because people don't really remember. They
Yeah.
may remember what it talks about, but they won't remember specific things.
Yeah.
So I was trying to balance that, like, okay, how do I say something that people will remember, but also not
Right.
take away from my story?
Yeah.
And you know, with the help of Matt, shout out to Matt too. And I feel like we did a good job. I mean, you know, the response, man,
Yeah.
it's been great. And you know, I'm just excited to see, you know, the growth and you know, just how it continue to grow after we release the next few couple things.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that to be I find it to be important for you to do what you are good at, and what I mean by that is, you know, I'm a very big Bruno Mars fan. So
yeah, I see that.
if
I
you
actually
haven't
listened to
noticed-
Bruno Mars because of you.
oh my God, it's amazing. He's got some amazing tracks out right now.
That 24K, I like.
That is,
He is good. He is very good at making catchy things.
and that's what I was just going to mention that I was watching an interview and he was saying how he was talking about doing what he's good at, and he is the type of artist that he said that I can't make another Marvin Gaye What's Going On or a Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror.
Right,
He said
yeah.
that's not my calling. He
Right.
said I've got ton of respect for it because that's where a lot of my roots come from. So he said the way he takes it is that the way he interprets what he's supposed to do is that if he knows that he can make some songs that makes everybody get on the dance floor, then he'll do that,
Right, yeah.
because of the fact that like he makes these catchy things that stay in true to who he is.
Right, exactly.
But when you go to a Bruno Mars concert, there's young, old, black, white, all
Right.
kinds of nationalities.
Yeah.
Like you
He
can't
can mix those demographics.
if
yeah.
you talk like you want to see a mixture of demographics and everybody doing one thing, dancing,
Yeah.
laughing, having a good time, and that in itself is substance. You
And
know,
and that in itself is Marvin
Right.
Gaye, what's going on, you know?
Exactly. And so when I think about that on kind of like what you were talking about, you find that everybody kind of wants to especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, they want to say, oh, well, you should be doing this in your community, and
Yeah.
you should be doing that, and I think that we should focus a lot on what we know we're good at, and seeing how what you're good at translates to the community. Because I can promise you, if you're really doing something that you are truly given your gift from God to do, it will attract the community.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it just will, and I like that you are already focusing on that and seeing how that how that translates to first your community, just that's very near to you, and then the community at large.
Yeah, because when I first came home, I had, a lot of people who, after they saw who I was when I came home, because, you come home, everyone wants to see, like,
Right.
just how did you come home? And when they saw it, they wanted
Right.
me to, like, beat the streets and go talk to kids. And I'm
Right.
like, but that's not, that doesn't get through to kids that are really in it. They want to know, for one, what's your story?
That's
Why
right.
should I listen to you?
That's right.
For two,
They want to build trust.
yeah, exactly. Like, do you even care about me? So
Yeah.
it's not about go preaching them. It's like, get to know them and don't tell them anything. Like,
Right.
just let them tell you everything that they want to tell you.
Right.
You listen, and eventually you'll get there. And that's kind of like
Yeah.
just the same thing. Like, it's a process. So it's not about like, oh, let me go out here and try to be this activist and start all doing these speeches.
Right.
No, like, my thing, I feel like, is more making this music and the kids seeing, now that they know my story,
Yeah.
making music that they like, and then eventually I'll establish that relationship.
Yeah.
And then they'll listen to me when I say, hey man, maybe this or maybe that. But
Yeah.
you just can't come in and
That's right.
think that you're gonna be a preacher and tell everybody what to do.
And I like that you're talking about the kids, because I've also seen with you, I've seen your demographic be very wide as well, because you've got kids that listen to you. You also have people much older than you that listen to what you say, and people near your age range that listen to what you say. And I've had people say that they respect what you say and how you're not afraid to talk about where you've come from, especially like the kind of decisions that you make. You just say it as raw as they come into your mind, and you're just like, I used to be doing this,
Right, yeah.
and this is what I was thinking when I was doing this, but I'm here now.
Right.
And there are people from here that are like, yeah, he is speaking straight to me right now,
Yeah.
like, and that to me is what matters.
Yeah.
I mean, to me that's what matters. And I think that activism in music really comes from, what is it that you deem important, and let it shine through your
Right.
music in that way. You don't have
Exactly.
to put on bells and whistles. You don't
No.
have to say, I'm doing this.
Right,
If
yeah,
that's not
nah.
your calling, that's not your
Exactly.
calling. Just be you. And I can promise, because I believe that we're all connected. So if we're all connected, and if we're all of kind of like one body,
Right.
then that means that we all have a role.
Yeah.
And if we do our role, then it's good for the
Right,
body,
that's that,
right?
It's that harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so ultimately, if we would just be ourselves, that's the
Right.
greatest form of activism, I believe.
Exactly.
And that just, so continue doing like your projects, and continue saying, okay, I feel like I could do this, that, and the third, and stay true to
Right.
what your
Exactly.
voice is.
Yep.
And I'm excited because I see you, seeing you up on the stage in theater. I saw just kind of that, I don't know, just that kind of a realm that I don't see from a lot of artists around here. And I'm very interested in the theater combination that you've got going on.
Right.
Do you want to do more shows like that or something along that?
I mean, I'm okay. How can I say that? If it makes sense. So if my music is that storytelling lane, then of course it's only right.
Right.
You know, because that's what's going on. But not just that. You know, I don't want to just
limit yourself
yes,
to that.
because
right.
it's so much more. Like you said, like you were just talking about being true to yourself. It's so much more that I can do and that I'm going to do. So with that, you know, I just really want to get the next time that I do something like that, I want it to be so much more involved in the acting.
That's
because
right,
you know that was it was a tad bit, very small portion of acting in that show.
But you want
but
more
the next
in
time,
there.
I want it to be like a scored play.
Yes.
So you know, and that's going to take a little more time and a little more planning. But the next time, it will be like, man, like that is really acting with a score, you know, and
that's
a
a
storytelling
show. That's a show that can keep going.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like how Peer Theater has its run. You know what else? And also just like I'm just thinking about how, once again, this is a form of like you being true to yourself opens up the doors for other people to feel comfortable to be true to themselves. Because I could only imagine like you having a full out kind of show or play, really, musical of sorts or something of that nature, and other local actors and actresses, people who want to act, you might need extras or you might need characters.
Exactly.
And that is in the community.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think that those are the kinds of things that we kind of miss out on when we're not being true to ourselves. Bump what everybody else feel, oh, well, you don't rap this way and you don't do it the way that I want you to do it. Who cares about that? Like, if I keep doing it the way you want to do it, I might be missing out on what I'm supposed to be doing for this other person right here, because the way you want me to do it, this person right here might not listen to me anymore.
Exactly. So I might not reach, you know, who I'm supposed to reach.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's amazing.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, that is one of many plans. But you know, just that something like that takes. I mean,
it takes
a
time.
year, yeah.
It takes time.
You know, if you want to do it right, you want a year to write it, and then a year to create the music based off what you write, or you know, vice versa. So,
I'm all willing to wait on that.
Yeah, but we definitely, you know, that definitely is something that you know, we've discussed even with Pure Theater. You know, we've talked about all that. It's just, you know, finding the right time and, you know, and just being in that right space.
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, definitely.
Now, you said there's a lot that you can do.
Yeah.
What all can Walter Brown do?
So
I need to know.
I mean, well, I guess, you know, this would be a good time, but like my next project, it's gonna, I guess people like are with everything that they've seen, you know, whether it be interviews, the paper, the EP. They have me in this lane of what type of music they think I make, which I do make that kind of music, but I don't solely make that kind of music.
Right.
So when I say it's so much more that I can do, it's just I guess showing people that like I do all type of things, all kinds of music, all kinds of hip hop, and it's still true to me. It's not like I'm trying to do it to make it seem cool, but I'm just doing it because it's one of my gifts. So, you know, when I say that, it's just, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but it's just really like breaking down that stigma or breaking down that preconceived notion that you can only do one type of music. Like you can only do soul rap, or you can only do hip hop, or you can only do trap rap, or you can only do and like if you know, because a lot of time artists, like if they go to a different lane, you switching up. Right. But my thing is, it's who is to say that it's switching up? What if you really can do all this and it sounds good? So when I say that, you know, it's just like, you know, my next project is going to be totally.
So we should never expect the same thing.
No, don't, because you will be disappointed. Yeah, that's you know, and that's just, I just don't want people to think that this is a part of Walter Brown, but this isn't like, you know, this isn't
all of Walter
Brown.
No,
definitely. And, you know, I feel like that with you, like, if I was just to think that VP is just the girl on the radio. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, VP definitely has.
Very good analogy.
Exactly. So that's just how I feel.
I got a friend who says, I don't really know what you do. I just know that you are you.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
I understand.
Yeah. So
I
you
understand
know,
that. I
yeah.
understand
So
that.
that's it.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm happy to hear that because I want to see what all can be done
Yeah.
and what all you, because even though we have an introduction to you,
Mm-hmm.
let's remember it's just an introduction. We
Exactly.
still don't know you. You know,
Exactly.
and I want to see who Walter Brown is. I want
Yeah.
to hear what Walter Brown is all about. We know that we can expect more from you.
Yeah,
You're willing to give that as an artist. Are there any collaborations or anything that you've got
Yeah. On
in
my
mind?
okay, yeah. Well, with this concert, it was just a lot more about, like you're
Your
talking about.
introduction.
Yeah,
Right.
and Myrtle Beach and Columbia, I had people from
Right.
other areas,
Right.
and so with just everything that's coming up, I'm focusing just a lot more on Charleston and
Right.
just collaborating with people more from Charleston because I feel like I gotta pay homage and I love my city, and it wasn't that with that I wasn't doing it, but it
Yeah.
just was all it was all a purpose, and the reason for it.
I think it
So
was genius. Yeah. I
yeah,
think
so just with everything coming up, yeah, it's just a lot more people from Charleston. Tyler Cash, and he's from Mount Pleasant.
Right.
And kind of I knew him growing up a little bit, and a good friend of mine, Cash vs. Jazz, Ill Mortal. Me and him got
Right.
something in the works. So yeah, just but yeah, it's more focusing on Charleston and the city and just collaborating and doing things with people around here just a
Yeah.
little more.
Yeah.
And I have more room because it's just more songs, and it's
Yeah.
a bigger platform, so it's easier to do that.
Yeah.
When you're doing an EP, it's like everything got to be tight.
That's right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to what you've got going on. Just because I know that this was really what it was supposed to be, an introduction.
Yeah.
And we talked about that a little bit before about how, this isn't all of you. This is
No.
just an introduction
Yeah.
of who you are. And I know that I know that's going to be good. I just have a really good feeling about it, like what you do and how you do it. Because every time I turn around, Walter's going somewhere to learn something about, oh yeah, VP, I got to finish this up because I got to go learn how to do some lighting over here.
Yeah,
or I got to learn
yeah.
how to, and
It's
it's always some random stuff. And you're thinking, how do these pieces fit
right. Yeah.
together?
Like,
What is
what's
this
the
dude
bigger
gonna do?
puzzle? Right?
Yeah, what is this dude
Yeah.
doing? So like, it might be one day we're like, yeah, Walter come through. Yeah, well, I gotta finish this food truck meeting up. How is that relating to the studio time? Relating to the lighting class?
Right, yeah.
Like it just be random stuff like that. But then I feel like you're putting everything
Yeah.
together, and it's gonna be exciting to see what you got going on. What is it that you would like to improve upon yourself?
Oh, man.
Let's just say, let's narrow
Right.
it down.
That's well, right.
Let's talk about music.
Okay, music.
What about your is there anything, have you found your voice, or are you still and this is a very early question, so I kind of expect to already know the answer to this,
Okay.
but do you find hints of, you're like, oh, I think this kind of leads to what my true voice is, or do you feel like you're operating in your true voice right now?
That is a deep question.
Yeah.
Do I feel like I found my true voice?
Yeah.
I know that I found where I'm most comfortable,
Okay.
but like I was telling you earlier, I feel like I also have multiple voices. So because it's multiple things that I've experienced, and it's multiple things that we've all experienced. So just like you have multiple roles in life, that's kind of how I feel. But I know where I'm most comfortable. Just as far as my voice and the style of music. But it's I guess at this point in my life to just focus on that, I feel like it would be doing the injustice.
Right.
Because,
Right.
I just want to show everybody all that I can do.
That's right. Yeah.
And then once that, has been done, then it'll be time to, focus more on where I'm coming. And then I feel like too, with making a mixtape as opposed to an album, for me at least, a mixtape is you have a lot of room to work with,
Right.
Because you can just mix it up. You can throw all type of different things on it,
Right.
all type of different sounds, because it's a mixtape.
Right.
When you go into an album, or at least when I do, I go with what is the concept and what is it that I'm trying to say, and you don't want to get too far out of that.
That's true.
Because it's I mean, that's just an album. That's how I look at it, at least.
Bruno Mars said the same thing. Dave.
Yeah.
Shout that out again.
Yeah. So just with this upcoming project, it's going to be a mixtape. So I have room to do all these different things.
Yeah,
With
absolutely.
Concrete Rose, I had to force myself to like don't go out of this, and it was hard at times because like I snuck Wicked in there on you, because Wicked is kind of that one song that's like,
look, he getting hyped about it.
Yeah, but I snuck it in there because I just want to give you a taste. But I just feel like with my whole thing is the timing and with what I'm doing, what goes with it and what makes sense with it. So with the upcoming project, it just makes sense to kind of give you a little piece of everything.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying, and I'm excited to. I'm always excited to see where an artist kind of takes their voice.
Right,
and I think that local artists or just artists in general that are not necessarily starting off, but I consider it starting off once you've done your first event.
Right.
I don't care about, because I think about just kind of the well-roundedness of an artist.
Right. Yeah.
And I take the time to just really think about, okay, here's point A.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've released music before, but what is this? What does your point A look like? What is it that I can say if it's 5 years from now? I can say, oh yeah, I know what the beginning was like. And as we've started to formulate the beginning, you've had your EP, you've had your event. This is all part of the beginning, and honestly, we've seen you since you've been out. So
yeah,
it's
y'all saw
like
me 4 days after.
Exactly. So like
y'all see the beginning.
We've seen the
beginning.
Right. So with all of that, I look at that and I say, and also from there, you've been consistent in terms of, okay, I said I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You're always on time, like I said before. So we all wish we could do that.
Yeah.
But
hopefully that stays the same.
Hopefully it stays the same, right? But I find that being able to see a beginning really helps me to kind of when you get into that kind of sophomore era.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be like, man, look at this dude,
right?
And how there's an artist I always talk about because I thought that this almost like transformation was amazing. It's KG, the artist from Stay Focused Music Group. When we first met KJ, boy, you could have thought he was the cockiest little son of a gun.
KG. He's
I said KJ.
Where's
KG?
he? I think
sorry,
I've seen
KG,
some of his
the
stuff,
artist.
man.
Yeah.
Brown skin dude,
Utahville.
Yeah.
He's man, he was just it was his first radio interview, and he was just he has music, and there's some things I remember I told him, I said, well, I don't like this song right here. Right. And he looked at me like, what, VP? Like, what you talking?
You don't like it?
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
But they were real. That whole group, I love that group. But my point is that KG, we saw his first project. When he came back with his second project, it was like, man, like there is so much growth, in his flow was enhanced, and just his thought was even more apparent. Now he puts out songs that you're like, man, I know what the beginning was like,
right. And you can see that growth and track it.
That makes me a more dedicated fan. That makes me a more
shout out to him,
avid
man,
listener. Yeah, because I want to listen to people that are not afraid to show their progress. Do you know how difficult it is to put yourself out there and show your progress?
Right, because everyone wants the beginning to be like,
right,
everybody listen to you the hottest thing you got,
right,
but it's very rarely like that.
Exactly. And I think I want to slap people when they don't acknowledge that, because you are in your I was having a conversation with someone about this. It's just different schools of thought. It was actually Black Dave I was having this conversation with, and we have some different perspectives in terms, but he said, well, VP, you focus a lot of what could be, and I think about what is. And I said, I understand that, but to me, if I don't think about what could be, then I'll be stuck. What if you meet somebody, like almost like you could go any
That's so
genius or
deep.
anything. Like you
Like,
could, I mean, any genius out
You
there.
could go to civil rights.
I mean, like when they started
What
off or
if-
when they first did what they
Right.
did. You know what I'm saying? Do we just cut you off at the knees?
Do we
Like
just
when
say
you-
black people will never have the right to vote or be
Yeah.
free? That's what it is,
To-
and it could never be.
Yeah.
You know.
To me, that's like walking
Yeah.
up and being like, "Yo, can I vote?" No. All right. Well,
Okay,
that's that.
Let's not try to vote anymore.
Or like that's like.
But what are we allowed to do? Let's just vote.
And
Nah,
I hear artists all the time that when we talk about what's your first project, like they be like, oh, I don't really want nobody to hear that, you know. But
Yeah.
it's not about that. It's the fact
Right.
that they've got so many projects afterwards. They got so much better afterwards. They did all. You know, I'm more interested in. I love
Yeah.
to see the progression. I'm more interested in seeing. Okay, what do you do a year from now? What do you do a few months from now?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
now, if you just continue to be arrogant and you're not interested in any kind of progression at all, you think that you just demand, then you've lost a fan in me,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
But I'm just one of those people. I've got the patience to see what it is that you're going to look like,
Yeah.
and if you've caught my attention off the bat. And I've got different things that catch my attention, so
Right.
that's another reason why I'm in a different school of thought. You know, my thing is support is love.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
like
my thing.
that's my deal. Support is love, and so for a lot of other people, that's just there are different definitions to like what
Yeah,
support
right,
is love.
support
mean.
is-
Yeah,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
But it's always good conversations in the music scene, and shout out to the people I talk to on a
Yeah.
regular basis, Black Dave and Ben Starr, for instance. We always are keeping our minds sharp and fresh when it comes
Right.
to our viewpoints. But yeah, that's what. But those are the things I wanted to know. Especially, I wanted to ask that question about how you felt about your voice, and I can tell that you're still very open to fine tuning or
Yeah.
even seeing like. What is I can do a whole lot of things. I wonder what you really are talking like you've just graduated, because these are things that you say. You're
Yeah.
like, wow, I can do a whole lot of things, but God,
Yeah,
what did
and
I
I'm
do?
gonna, it's like that kid that's just fresh out of high school. He like, oh, where you gonna go? And you're like, well, I'm gonna kind of go everywhere.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
I'm gonna
figure
just
it out.
experience it all, and
Yeah.
use all my talents and see what.
What leads me
Yeah,
where?
exactly. I hate to use the word lane, because
Yeah.
I feel like, what if a person has a lane that just embodies all these things?
Lane could be restricted.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
So
I
you know,
completely understand.
so yeah, just like I said, I'm just excited to like. Now that I feel like I've got the EP off my shoulders, it's like now I can really do
Right.
what more so I wanted to do.
Right.
Because like, not to say I didn't want to do the EP, but I understood that it had its purpose and it had
Right.
to be done.
The portfolio has started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. And so now that I've done that, now I feel like, okay, now the reins are off and you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So,
That's right. Solid. I think that's solid, because you got the music, and you did event planning.
Yeah.
And I really wish a lot more people did event planning, but did good event planning. Good event planning. Good event planning. I might have a special on that good event. So, but I appreciated what you did. I appreciate the
Thank you,
time.
y'all do y'all things too, so.
It's
We have a Free Thinkers Union Do Work coming soon.
oh snap,
Coming soon.
exclusive. Okay. But I appreciate you coming through.
no,
And I know there'll
appreciate
be
y'all,
more
man.
conversations, and
Yeah, definitely.
you'll be on Do Work Radio soon anyway. So I appreciate you
Always.
stopping by Time TNL. Do you have any last words? And
Yeah,
have
man,
to
just
pick
shout
one?
out to everybody. I can't name everybody, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But
you
yeah,
got a
shout
lot.
out to everybody. Y'all make sure y'all check out Concrete Rose EP on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, where any music service is on there. Be on the lookout for the Concrete Rose mini
MySpace
documentary.
music.
Except for MySpace, it's not on MySpace.
MySpace
Should
Should be the new SoundCloud.
be on the lookout for the video for the next single, Concrete Rose 2. And shout out to Do Work, man. It's always love.
Oh, no problem, no problem. You already know. We had DJ Scrib kind of
Yeah,
slip
shout out
in
to
here
Scrib.
at the last minute.
The
you
hottest
know,
DJ right now in the city.
The hottest DJ. Literally, he said it was hot outside.
Free Thinkers Union. Shout out to y'all always. Free Thinkers Union.
Always. And this has been Time TNL, powered by Do Work Media. I've been your host, VP. And until next time, keep it classy, Chuck Down. VP out. Support is love.